Good morning and welcome to this week's Small Business Town Hall. Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos, I'm so glad that you're joining us today for this important conversation in which we provide updates to our small business community about important topics that are relevant to the business, to your business. So thank you so much for joining us today. And just want to give you an overview what we're going to have for you this morning. We're going to be hearing, first of all, from the U.S. Small Business Administration, the director. We're going to hear from Director Mark Hayward. He's the district director, and he's going to give us information about what's going on from the federal government and from the SBA. We're going to hear information. Then we're going to hear from the Secretary of Commerce, Liz Tanner. She's going to be joining us a little later on today with more information about what's happening from the from commerce perspective. So stay tuned for that. Then we're going to hear from the Department of Labor and Training. We're going to hear from Director Matt Weldon. It's going to give us the latest from the DLT. Then we will hear from the Director of the Small Business Regulation, Beth Dwyer. So we have a full agenda for you. Then after that, we have some special guests with us. I wanted to have them in this program with us for a long time. We're going to have right now the Rhode Island Small Business Development Center. We're going to have with us State Director Diane Fornaris, and also we're going to have Associate State Director Manuel Badlitz, or Badges, that's the way how we would say it, right? Badge. So they're going to join us today and give us some information about the information that they have available for the small business community. But before we start, I have to remind everyone to please get vaccinated. If you have not gotten your vaccine for the COVID-19, please do so. That's the best way in which we can fight the pandemic. So if you're feeling that you have any concerns, don't know where to go, please let us know, or either visit the covid.ri.gov. That website is covid.ri.gov. Reach out to us and we will let you know where you can go and get your vaccine. Another reminder that I have for all of you, please let anyone know, anyone that received benefits from the state of Rhode Island, any Medicaid services, we have to do the recertification. This is a process that used to take place every year before the pandemic. And due to the pandemic, it hasn't happened in the last 3 years. So it's very important. You're going to be getting letters from the state of Rhode Island, from DHS, letting you know that you have to get in contact with the state of Rhode Island to confirm that the information that we have is correct. Something that I want you to help us, please. There are many individuals that have moved, and the state of Rhode Island doesn't have their correct address and phone number. So if you know of anyone that have moved recently, or anyone that is receiving services from the state of Rhode Island, let them know that they need to reach out. There is a website that the state of Rhode Island has started. It's called staycovered.ri.gov, because we want you to stay covered. We want you to continue to have your services. So make sure that you visit the website and let us know if anything changed. And if your address, make sure we have your correct address, phone numbers, and email. So please make sure that you go to staycovered.ri.gov. With that, let's go back to talk about business. And in order to do that, we're going to bring first the director of the SBA in Rhode Island office. We're going to have Director Mark Hayward with us. Director, so good to see you.
Good morning, Governor. It's great to see you. I can see the whole gang is all back together again.
Yes.
We got Liz and Matt and the director of DBR. That's really great. And Governor, while there have been some significant changes to SBA policy and rules, I want to put those off until next month. I did send them out today to, they were in a notice of proposed rulemaking back in November, and we did a lot of comments. A lot of Rhode Island lenders commented, and while they came out yesterday, I sent it out to the lenders this morning for them to take a look at it, and I'm going to give that information the next time we meet, because this is the first time that we've had the opportunity to speak since we've chosen all of our winners, and I want to mention our winners because we have a tremendous amount of great Rhode Island small businesses, and
Yes.
we are going to celebrate them on May 3rd. Governor, you're going to be my headliner now at
I'll
our
be there.
luncheon. And of course, don't forget to put Block Island on your calendar as well. But our small business person of the year is Craig Pickell, who is the president and CEO of Bullet Abrasives in Lincoln, and we are very proud that Craig is going to go down and he's going to represent us in Washington at the festivities down there. Our Rhode Island Exporter of the Year is Ellis Wallman, president and CEO of Walco Electric out of Providence. Nice. Our small business manufacturer, who not only won the Rhode Island Award but also won the regional award, is Lubin Sakar, who's the CEO of the Backyard Food Company. He's located in Warwick. The Rhode Island and New England Women-Owned Business of the Year is a place that's near and dear to my heart. It's in the 1st Congressional District. I do want to tell you that. And I think you and I, Governor, probably should go visit. But it's Wright's Dairy Farm. It's Ellen Cressetti, and they won the New England one too. Jennifer Ann Wright, Roberts, Elizabeth Wright Dulude, who are the co-owners of Wright Dairy Farm. And by the way, they got great ice cream, and the pastries are just to die for, Governor.
So let me tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a secret. They just opened a location at the Farm Fresh building. So right here in Providence, just so you know, there's another location.
That's absolutely great. I mean, clearly they were head and shoulders above all of the women-owned businesses across New England. We're very proud that they won both the Rhode Island and the New England Award. Our Rhode Island Financial Service champion is John Richmond from Bank Newport. Our Rhode Island Micro Enterprise is Miriam Ross Esquire, who is a partner and owner in Miriam Ross and Associates out of Providence. And I just want to say that Miriam was just appointed the director of the Roger Williams University element where we're going to do pro bono work by the law clerks and the law students at the university for minority and women-owned businesses, to give them a full, kind of a backroom legal ability as they're starting their businesses and things they need. So Miriam has been very active, and we're really excited to see that program up. Now I'm going to crucify.
That's a great program. It's going to help a lot of small business. So we're happy.
I absolutely agree. But this is something that we've been talking about for a very long time. And it gets back to, Governor, where we're talking about a hand up and not a handout.
That's right.
To get our minority and women-owned small businesses the things they need, like, putting together LLC or making sure that they have the right succession planning within their business, and incorporating properly, because that's really, really important. And I know that later you're going to have some special guests from the SBDC who are going to work with this group, as well as our SCORE volunteers. And I don't know how to pronounce this gentleman's last name. It's Tony. It's PHOUAYKOUMPHA. That's his last name. But he owns Latte Love Coffee House. He's got two of them now. He's got one. He's got one on Atwood Avenue and one on Comstock Parkway. And he's our Rhode Island Minority Small Business Person of the Year. And you got to know that at our event on May 3rd, I'm going to struggle with that with that one.
You and me will practice,
Okay, yeah.
So make sure we get it right.
Absolutely. And then our veteran-owned small business is Christopher Misso, who's the president and owner of Bravo Brewing Company. And our Rhode Island young entrepreneur is my cousin Vinny. No, that's the name of the business. But it's Vinny Pizzulo, who's the owner and president of My Cousin Vinny Rentals, which is out of Johnston.
Yes.
Our women-owned business is somebody it's Gloria Chacon, who's the president and the owner of Greenview Tree Services, and she was at our women's roundtable, and just absolutely phenomenal.
Amazing. Very impressed with what she has accomplished and her business. Yes.
Absolutely. Our Rhode Island Joseph G.E. Knight Award for Entrepreneurial Excellence is Dr. Christina McAteer, who's an MD, and she owns Oceanside Medical Anesthetics. And then two more, Governor. Our Rhode Island Jeffrey Butlin, and the funny thing is Jeff Butlin, who was our regional administrator during 43, who was the Senate president. He is the only regional administrator who's died in office. But he always advocated, we need to have a family-owned business award, something where people have started here and passed it to this generation and passed it to this generation. Our winner is Debbie Matos, owner of Hope Cleaners in East Providence. And I know Deb. And that business is over 80 years old. She was at our women's roundtable as well. And it was passed from her grandfather to her father to her. And it's those kind of things that we want to keep going. And then the Rhode Island District Director Award is going to be given to Melanie Weeks. Melody is really, she's been terrific. You know, the one thing that I try to do is to highlight somebody who has gone above and beyond, who gets very little recognition for what they do. So, Governor, we have a great group of winners that we're going to celebrate. Melissa Travis, who is our partner at the Rhode Island CPAs, who will be putting on the event at the Quinessa Country Club on the 3rd. Anybody who wants tickets, you contact Melissa. She'll be happy to give them to you, get them for you. But I think it really, she thinks we're going to have about 400 people there, maybe a little bit more. And it's really a great time to celebrate all of these individuals.
I can't wait.
Have our year-to-date numbers, Governor.
All right. So I want to know which city is at the top.
So, which CDC?
Yeah, which one of the cities is at the top right now? Did you have the list by city right now? Or the
I absolutely do. Do you want to go there first? Are you sure you want to go there?
All right. I'll trust you. You go.
All right. So we'll go to the cities first. Number 1 with 19 loans so far. Remember, our fiscal year starts in October 1st. Is Cranston. Cranston with 10 million, almost $11 million. Number 2 is the city of Providence with 17 loans, with just almost $7 million. Number 3 is the city of Warwick with $12 million at almost 12 loans at almost $5 million. And number 4, what is it, Governor?
Let's see. East Providence.
Bingo. Yeah, the mayor would be very proud because a former mayor always rooting for East Providence,
right?
And they have 8 loans for over $4 million. But the real story is we've done 97 7A loans, and we're seeing a lot of smaller loans. And the 7A loans is almost $38 million. And I think you and I have had this discussion. When we see the smaller loans, that is small businesses looking for working capital. And that's to employ people. They're not looking at the big picture of buying a building or buying new machinery and equipment. They're really trying to focus in on what they're doing to make sure that they're paying their individuals, that they're expanding their business locally. So $38 million, 97 loans. That's really great. We have 24 504 loans, which is the machinery and equipment building and land and building, and that is we've done approximately $31 million in 504 loans, which is good. It's up a little bit. 7As are up a little bit. We're one of the very few states up a little bit, which is really good in a year over year. But here's the kicker, and I was talking to our micro lending. Our micro lending. We right now they're at 12 loans for approximately $236,000. You have to remember, microloans are from $50,000 or less. We didn't do 12 loans last year, all of last year, and we're halfway through the year. What that means, Governor, is that there's capital infusion going into the smaller businesses in the community. Right. And I know that both CIC, which is located here in Providence, and SEED, which is Taunton, but also in Providence, has really concentrated on getting into the communities of color, the Black and brown communities, women, to make sure that we're getting, even if it's 5, 10, 15,000, and those are the kind of loans that in the long run, Governor, we're going to see businesses just sprout all over the place. So that's my report for the day. I apologize for taking so much time, but it's always a pleasure.
It's been a while, so it was good
Yes.
that you took the time to explain all this and great information, announcing all of the winners. So this is really good information. So
we will have the Providence Business News is doing a special edition in the first week of May, that will have all of our winners and all of their stories. Rhode Island Monthly is also doing a special edition of not only about SBA programs, some of our winners, but mostly about SBA programs. Nice. And during these times where inflation seems to be creeping up, what you can do to help your business and the kind of programs you can access, like the 3 that I just mentioned here, Governor. So we got a lot of press coming out in the next few weeks, and you will be my headliner on May 3rd.
I'll be there. I can hardly wait. So thank you so much.
Thank you for everything you've done. And just because we really haven't done this in a while, and because you did our Black History Month event, which was phenomenal. And then you did our Women's History Month event with Senator Reed, which was absolutely phenomenal. And now we're going to be doing our small business event. And I just thank you very much. I am personally touched the fact that you have spent and dedicated so much time to the small business community.
Thank you so much for reminding me to talk about those 2 events. Those 2 events were so great. We were able to hear directly from the small business community. Both of them, the one for Black History Month and the one for Women's History Month, were amazing. So thank you to you and your team, and congratulations for a great program that you put together.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
We have all the lists. In fact, I just went over them again today. We have the list of requests that they have made on both events. Mm-hmm. We're following up on that. I will send Joanna the results that we have so that you and I both know what's going on.
Great. Thank you, Director. Thank you so much. Great seeing you. Take care. All right. Thank you. So as you can see, we had a lot of information from the SBA, but now we're going to go to the Director, Matt Weldon, from the Department of Labor and Training. Director Weldon, so great to see you.
It's good to see you. How are you, Go?
Really good. I miss you.
Oh, I miss you too. I moved some things around, so it's a little bit dark in here on my camera, but
okay.
I can do. So, hey everybody. Quick, it's been a while, so I'll give you a really quick update. I don't want to say anything, but somebody went very long today in their session. So I only have a little bit of time here, but here we go. Rhode Island's unemployment rate is 3.1%, and we've held at 3.1. We're competitive. We're ahead of Massachusetts at 3.7, ahead of Connecticut at 4%. The U.S. rate's at 3.6%. We've done fairly well. One thing people will say is that's because labor force is down. And, they're right about the labor force. It doesn't mean that we're not competitive with our unemployment rate, though. Those things are related, but not controlling one another entirely. Labor force is down. It's been coming down for some time. Go back to pre-recession time, 2007. We went in Rhode Island, went through a terrible recession that took 5 years or more to come out of. And we started to see the baby boomer generation retire. And unfortunately, we haven't pulled enough young people into the workforce to backfill all those losses. So right now we're at 62.9% of people 16 and over that are working. Now, I don't think it's a great measure anyway, because it doesn't consider students. It doesn't consider people that retire, but still 62.9%. So we need to do a little bit better. We've got to pull more people into the labor force. And that's what we do here at DLT. We work with the Department of Ed and Higher Ed on programs to get young people connected with even work experience.
Yes.
We encourage them to get after school jobs, to work even a few hours a week, because we've both heard from economists that say that early attachment to the labor force will result in future attachment to the labor force. Yes. And I am one of the parents that's guilty of this. I had a son who did, very well in high school and went into a very difficult college program. And I encouraged him not to work because I've been working since I was a very little kid. And I said I wanted him to have a different experience. And, now he works a little bit part-time and has done that throughout college. But I maybe should have pushed him in a little bit earlier. And I'm learning those lessons myself as a parent.
I know all about that also.
That's right. Absolutely. Good news for the first couple of months of this year is we're adding jobs back. So 1,900 jobs added back in February, 3,400 over the last couple of months. We've now recovered 94% of the jobs that were lost during the pandemic. And the chief statistician here, that's been here a very long time, who's an expert, believes that the reason that we haven't recovered 100% is because a number of those jobs are in industries like hospitality, where people would often take a second job and they would work a secondary job. And when you count jobs, you count every job someone has. Mm-hmm. When you count working folks, you count the person. And so we're seeing probably fewer people take those second jobs because of all the changes that happened in the pandemic and the work-life balance that people have grown accustomed to. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep doing everything we can to help that industry. It's a great partner of ours. We spend a fair amount of money every year in job training with the Hospitality Association and other groups that are in the hospitality space. We support them 100%, but we need to be mindful that it's a tough industry right now to fill jobs in. And so I just want to transition quickly to two more things and I'll be done. One ties right in with that, trying to get people to work. Early in my time as director, the administration asked me to think about a way to get people back to work. This was in May of 2021, still in the pandemic. Mm-hmm. We had federal benefits that were available. We came up with a new way to let people work part-time and stay attached to unemployment. So at that time, they could keep the extra money that the federal government was giving. And that was good for our economy because you could put a lot of money into Rhode Island's economy doing that. Well, last year, we had to change the law to do that in 2021. And what that law did is allow people to earn more money. They could earn 1.5 times whatever their unemployment rate was, their weekly benefit. They could keep more of their own money. They weren't, we didn't take as much back because they worked. We didn't want to create a disincentive for people working. And so we called it the 401 Works program. It just approached part-time work and unemployment differently. Last year, we had continued the program for another year, and it has a sunset on it, which basically means it ends this June if we don't do anything. Yeah. I have put in a bill on behalf of the administration and the Department of Labor and Training to make it a permanent program. And so my department will be up there arguing why that's a good idea. And I just want to say the data says it's absolutely a good idea. Great. People that work part-time and collect a partial unemployment benefit collect for half of the time that people that collect a full benefit do. They take home a third of the total benefits. So they're leaving money in the account. And yes, it costs about $1.5 million to run this a year, but those same people are leaving $2.3 million in benefits in the bank because they're not collecting them. So we think it actually saves money for employers that pay these taxes. And, finally, these people are reporting $1.9 million in earnings more because they're able to work part-time. So almost $2 million added to Rhode Island's economy a year because people are able to work and not be punished for it. So if you see us at the State House, we're probably advocating for that to become permanent. We think it's a good investment in Rhode Island workers. It's a good investment in Rhode Island employers. And finally, because I know you're going to ask me, there are 42 companies on Workshare right now.
Workshare.
We're go to 48.
Yeah.
So we're down 6. I'm hopeful that means that they're back to work full time, and that's usually what that means. They use it for a temporary period of time. And really quickly, you can go to that website Ben put up to get information about Workshare. But Workshare allows companies that are experiencing a temporary slowdown to have their employees file for a partial unemployment benefit and have reduced work hours but stay employed, because we know that there's such an investment that goes into training people, and individuals make an investment in their employer. They become part of that organization, part of that work culture. They become a valuable asset to that employer. And if they have to go look for another job, it becomes incredibly difficult for the employer and for them to start fresh. So Workshare allows them to stay connected to the employer, get paid from the employer at a reduced rate, make up for it with some unemployment, and then hopefully go back to full-time shortly thereafter. Right now, 42 companies are taking advantage of this program. If you're an employer that has questions about it, reach out to us through that website, and I'll have somebody get in touch with you right away.
Thank you, Director. And we're going to ask the team in the office to make sure that they add the link also to the comment section so it stays with the recording. So anyone that is watching can just go after, and the link is going to stay with the recording. So we're going to make sure to add all the links to the different information that has been provided today to the comment section. So thank you so much, Director, for that update. Great
Thank you.
seeing you,
You
and
too.
I'll see you the next time.
You got it.
Thanks. Well, now we're going to hear from the Director of the Business Regulation. We're going to give some time to Director Tanner to settle. I know she was rushing into coming back to connect with us. So we're going to go to Beth Dwyer now and hear from DBR. What are the latest things from DBR?
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. So as I think everyone knows, DBR licenses a number of different professions, and we're in a continuous improvement process. We're always trying to update how we license those professions. During Director Tanner's time or Secretary Tanner's time at DBR, all of our licenses went online, but we have a lot of enhancements that make it even easier for licensees and businesses that have to deal with the department. So I'll go through some of the changes we've made recently, but a big project that we have going that affects more people is online permitting. So a couple of years ago, again, under Director Tanner, we started a process to put municipal permitting online. We currently have 36 of 39 municipalities. We will be doing exactly the same thing with that, which is continuous enhancement. Just because they're on doesn't mean this will be the end product. We're constantly trying to make it easier. We're getting some very, very good feedback from people on the permitting, that it's much, much easier than going down to the municipal town hall, standing in line. You can get these permits online, which is making it much easier for people. We're working on the other 3 municipalities, and even after all of the municipalities are on, we'll be continuously working to make that a better program. With regard to our licensees, we've done a couple of little changes that hopefully will make it easier for people. We have set up direct email inquiry boxes for a lot of our smaller licensees, so auto body, real estate, things like that, so that you don't get lost in the cog of just asking DBR. You can go directly to the expert in that area. Those are all on our website, which is on the screen, I can see. We've also tried to organize our website a little bit better, and if anyone has any comments about that, we'd love to hear them. It's tough sometimes. You try to pretend you're the licensee interacting with the website, but sometimes someone from the outside using it says, "Oh, this doesn't really work that way," and that's great feedback for us. It allows us to quickly make a change that can really help. We've put some franchise amendment filings online through a process. Franchisees, so anyone that has a franchise in Rhode Island registers with us. That has been online for a while, but some of the attendant documents that go with that have not. We're slowly getting those online. We've gotten some of those amendments up. We have put our insurance producer licensing exams in Spanish. We're hoping that will assist people who want to sell insurance policies to underserved communities to get licensed and go out and get those products to communities that might not have access. And in general, we're trying to get more of our consumer-facing information out there. Financial services is very confusing. We know that.
Yes.
We are here to help you if you don't understand. So people who don't understand their insurance products or their banking products, we have people who can answer the phone and kind of walk you through it. But we also have a bunch of things on our website that we're hopeful people can access to help them in those areas. And those are the things we're doing today.
Thank you, Director. That's so important. People normally have a lot of questions about insurance and financial services, and to know that they can just communicate with the department and call and get those questions clarified, that's very important. So thank you so much. Thank you for that information. It's great
problem.
Seeing you, and thank you for being here with us today. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
So, thank you. So next, we're going to hear from Secretary of Commerce, Liz Tanner. Thank you so much. I know you made an extra effort to join us today, and I'm so glad that you're here because it's been a while. We want to hear what's going on in commerce. Secretary?
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for having me. Of course, Ben, thanks for all your work in the background. Let me see if I can get myself situated there. All right. So I actually have 2 programs that I was hoping to talk about today.
Great.
First is the ventilation program. So I think last time I was here a couple months ago, this program is finally out. There are intermediaries where businesses can reach out to inquire more about the program. It is up to $10,000 per small business to receive, to actually be reimbursed for doing what they need to do in their space to improve the air quality. And that's still actually possible if you rent only, even if you don't own your space. We define small business for this program as a business that makes less than $1 million per year. And I just wanted to run down the list of intermediaries so that if people are part of these organizations,
That's
close to
very
them.
helpful. Yes.
Excellent. So it's the City of East Providence, the City of Pawtucket, the Federal Hill Commerce Association, the Greater Newport Chamber of Commerce, the North Kingstown Chamber of Commerce, the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, the Rhode Island Hospitality Association, the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition, and Rise Engineering. And so if you are looking to improve the air quality in your business, there are ways to be reimbursed for the costs that you have. The other program I was hoping to talk about is the Technical Assistance Program. Now, this is a little confusing because there's two parts of it. And so at some point, I will come back on to talk about businesses that can apply to receive technical assistance. But right now, I'm looking for the vendors who will help the technical businesses who need technical assistance. And so what I mean by that is that I'm looking for lawyers. I'm looking for accountants, bookkeepers, web designers, marketers, business coaches, things like that can help a business come out of the pandemic shining, right? So if you had to convert your retail to doing some stuff online, you're going to have to get a really good website. Maybe you need translation services because you're trying to sell internationally, you're trying to sell to certain markets. Those are all the kinds of services that we want to eventually offer to businesses, but we need those businesses first. So it's a double win. It helps the small business, but it can also help those lawyers and accountants and marketers and website designers that we're looking for. So those are the folks that we're looking. So if you've got that kind of skill, if you have that kind of a business, please reach out to commerceri.com or 521-HELP. We're also working very closely with Skills for Rhode Island's Future. There's the ones who are facilitating the program. If you're familiar with them, you can feel free to reach out to them. If you don't know how to reach them, give us a call and we'll make that connection. But ultimately, that's another up to $10,000 for a business owner. I mean, that's a good amount of money for.
That's really good. Yes.
When I think about, I'm an attorney, so when I think about some of the things that a business can do, it can be succession planning. If you're thinking about selling your business or you're getting close to retiring, it can be about, I'm a sole proprietor or a partnership, and now I want to become an LLC or a corporation. Yes. For your accounting, it can be to get your books really organized and ready to go, particularly if you're looking at doing some financing. There's just so many things that it can be. So if you're a service provider and you think you can help Rhode Island small businesses grow and succeed, we want to hear from you. So please reach out. So those are the two programs I was hoping to highlight this week.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And that's so important. There are so many individuals that maybe are watching this broadcast right now. If you are a lawyer, if you are an accountant, if you provide translation services or any type of service that can help a small business improve, if you are website developer, please reach out because we're going to need your service, okay? We want to make sure that we do a matching with the businesses that are applying that need that type of services. So important. So thank you so much, Secretary, for sharing that information because that's crucial. And I know we're going to have more information coming up next week, more details. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, any service provider that would like to be included, please reach out to the Secretary's office, to the Commerce RI office. So thank you so much, Secretary. It was so great seeing you. Thank you for this information. And I'll see you the next time. Thank you. All right, so now we're going to our special guest that we have here with us. As I mentioned earlier, we have this week from the State Director of the Center, Small Business Development Center. So the Small Business Development Center, the State Director is Diane Fornaris, and Diane is here with us. And also we're going to have Manuel Badle is going to join us, Manuel Bajek, as we say in Spanish. They both are going to join us. So thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're here with us and to have this opportunity to hear about what is going on, what's happening, what are the latest things. I always keep sending you every time someone calls me with an issue in any small business, someone trying to figure out what to do, I send them to you because I know you're going to help them. But can you share with the rest of the audience what are the services that you're providing? I think you're muted, Diane.
Sorry about that.
Perfect. That's fine. Okay.
Thank you so much for inviting us. It's a great opportunity to share some of the things that we're doing and have done at the Small Business Development Center. First of all, I'd like to mention that people may not be aware of this, but we actually launched in the state of Rhode Island 40 years ago. So we have a long history in the state. We were probably in the middle group of the network that joined. It's a national network. So we have a lot of experience. We have a great staff, and I'll go into a little bit about some of the services we offer. But we're part of a national network. There are 63 SBDCs around the country. Every state has at least one. Some of the larger states have more than one, and we're in most of the U.S. territories too. All of the SBDCs are supported through a cooperative agreement from the Small Business Administration, so we work very closely with them. In the case of Rhode Island, we're also supported by the state of Rhode Island, which we really appreciate, and the University of Rhode Island, which is our host, and that's where we're based on the Kingston campus. What kind of differentiates us a little bit from some, the other many programs here, which are fantastic, and we work very closely with all of them, is our program is accredited. So every 5 years, we go through a very thorough and daunting accreditation process. In fact, it's every 5 years. So 5 years ago, when we went through the process, we actually came through it with no conditions, which meant, everything was great here.
Awesome.
It really is a very thorough process. Let's put it that way, right, Manuel? And we're starting it up now because our next accreditation is in 2024. So we're, starting on our self-study, reviewing our policies and procedures. It's a very organized type of thing. So what will happen sometime next year is that a team of other state directors will come and visit us. They stay for a week. They'll probably meet a lot of you because they meet with all the stakeholders and all the partners. They meet with clients. They meet with everybody on the staff. And then we'll get the final report after that. But we're going to be ready, and I think we'll do a great job this time coming up too. In our Small Business Development Center, we have 5 full-time business advisors and 9 part-time. So usually what happens is when people come into the system, they'll be meeting with one of the full-time people who are also regional directors for the most part. And then if they need specialized services, they'll pull in people from the part-time staff who are mostly specialists. As some of you may know, we have a fantastic restaurant and hospitality consultant who's one of our part-time people. And so we bring her into all of the restaurant work, which is, we have a lot of them. I can tell you that it's a great sector here, and it's really important. And she really does a great job. So we'll tailor our services to, what the small business needs. And that's how we are a little bit different too. We're not a cohort program. We don't lend money, but we do specialize in helping clients to access capital. In fact, last year, I think we worked with almost 700 small business owners. It's a lot for a staff of our size.
Yes.
And we helped them raise close to $18 million. We work with all the lenders, all the lending programs. And again, while we don't lend money directly, we help the client to prepare, to get their financials in order, to do their business plan, to do their financial projections. And our staff is all very well trained in that. So that service is available to any small business owner. And that's really kind of the meat and potatoes of our service in every small business development center. It's the customized one-on-one business advising. It's all confidential. As Mark can tell you, we don't even share client names unless we have their written permission, even with SBA. When we report our data, they only get the numbers. They don't get the names. So we feel it's very important because we work with such confidential information that, that is confidential. But we actually customize the program to what the client needs. And we'll work with them for as long as they want. We have clients we've worked with for really many years. Maybe they came in as a startup. We helped them get going. Once that was done, they went on their way. They were looking for financing. They came back. Near the end of the business cycle, maybe they were looking, do I have my succession plan in order? We'll help them with that. So through the life cycle of the business, we can offer assistance. And again, it's very personalized and customized. And it's available to any small business owner, from startup to, mature businesses. So it really is fantastic. Just to give you an idea, I said we, had worked with close to 700 businesses last year. 50% were women, 47% were self-identified as a member of a minority group. So we're really trying to, reach out to all segments of our population. And again, it was a lot of access to capital. So those are our core services. We offer a lot of very relevant and timely training programs. As some of you might remember during the pandemic, because everybody had to do everything, remotely immediately, we were offering e-commerce workshops once a week. That they were extremely well attended, and we kept that going for a long time. Now, after we did actually a survey at the beginning of the year of our training clients, now they're kind of up to speed and they're looking for more advanced topics. So we've been doing that, and that's been going real well. Not once a week, we don't have to do it that often now, but those have been very, very successful. So we're concentrating on that. We do have a monthly legal clinic for our clients. And again, it's free to them, and it kind of will at least get them going on what they need legal wise. That's been very popular. And this year we're also going to be, we're looking at doing some export training for people who are looking to get into exporting. We have some curriculum, and well as kind of heading up that effort. And, we'll work with our, with our resource partners on that, but that looks pretty exciting too. So we really have a lot of services. We have a fantastic staff. So I'd like to thank them, for all the hard work they do. And if anybody on the call here wants to register as a client or knows a small business that needs our help, all I have to do is register through our website, and I can put the link on, but I'm not sure how to do it here. Can I put it like in the private chat? And
you can put it in the private chat, so the team can put it in the public chat. So that way Michelle can put it in there.
Okay, I'll just put the registration. But any questions? Would love to take them.
Yeah, so I just want to talk, you mentioned about your team, and I know that you have a diverse team and you have access to different languages, correct?
Oh yes, I'm glad you brought that up, Lieutenant Governor. We've had bilingual counselors at the SBD since the early 2000s, especially Spanish speaking, and that's why we do so much work in that community. Now on our staff, we have 3 bilingual English, Spanish speaking staff members. And we also have 2 that speak Hindi. I know Yash speaks some other languages. So, that's been extremely helpful in our work. And we do definitely have that.
That's great. Thank you. I want to ask Manuel, can you tell me, what do you hear from the clients? What are the topics of things that are the most concern to them?
Well, it's usually access to capital. I mean, most of them come to us because they're not bankable. And that's the main issue right now. But I want to add something to what Diane said. Our services are free.
How could I forget that?
So, yes,
no cost.
Access to capital. And that's one of the things that we do. And we specialize in making projections. Knowing which lender has an appetite for what kind of business. So, some lenders are not like lending to restaurants, but we know which lenders are doing that, and so on and so forth. So that's the main issue. And by the way, thank you for sending even all your friends to us. It's really, I really enjoy meeting with them.
We love it.
Thank you. Every time someone called me with a question, that was like, I know exactly who you need to talk to. Talk to Manuel, talk to Diane, talk to their team. They will help you, and if they're not the right fit, they're gonna send you to any other support agency that can assist you. So I'm so grateful to everything that you do. And, I keep getting the same question over and over, just talking about being bankable. In one of the challenges that I'm coming across with a lot of the small business owners, especially micro business owners, is they keeping their finances in order and making sure that they're keeping a separate account for the sale taxes. It's just so incredible the number of calls and questions that I get related to this. And I'm very grateful to everything that you guys do to help them understand how to run their business and how to keep their finances separate from the personal, and how to keep an account for their taxes. So I don't know if you want to add anything around that area.
Well, I think it's very important that they file their income tax on time, because you can have the best accountant, but lenders don't pay. Lenders are guided by the income tax. So if you don't declare everything you make, the loan you're going to get is according to your income tax. So it's you have to declare everything you make.
Yes. Yeah, that's an important conversation also. We have seen cases in which individuals are trying to sell their business, but they have a business that has been showing for years that they're losing money. So how can you sell a business that has been losing money? So you have to do your best effort that you can to show that your business does give you a profit, so you can find individuals interested in buying your business. There's so many little things that we have been covering based on the calls that my office gets and that I get and that we refer to you. And I just want to thank you again for everything that you do and for being so willing to work with us and help us assist the small business community. And just get ready, because I have more that I'm going to be sending your way. So get ready for that.
We're ready.
Yes. But I just want to thank you once again for taking the time to be here with us and for sharing the information about what the Small Business Development Center has been doing to help the small business community. And that is for free. It is free, and they have services available in different languages. So make sure that you connect with them. So I want to thank Diane and Manuel for being here with us today. Thank you for what you do, and get ready, because we're going to be sending you more people.
Oh, the more the merrier. Thank you so much, Governor.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Thanks for being here. So thank you, all of you, for joining us today. What a great conversation we had, and resources that we're sharing for your small business to make sure that you are successful. Remember, we're going to be having this gathering. We're going to connect every other week. And just want to remind everyone that Chris Parisi unfortunately couldn't be with us today. You know that Chris is always out there and is listening to the concerns of the small business community in the state of Rhode Island. And remember that Chris and Jen normally do this section on the weeks when I'm not doing it. So it's one week I do it, the other week they do it. So make sure you connect with us either 11:30 with me or the noontime with Chris and Jen and the rest of the team. So thank you all for joining us, and I'm so glad that we're able to have this conversation with you. Have a great day.